Hello violinists, this is Henriette here from Pro Strings, and this is a lesson about the D minor arpeggio from the grade 3 scale book. In this lesson you're going to learn the D minor arpeggio completely from scratch, so if you've never done it before, welcome and have your violin ready. You can play along with me, and by the end of this lesson you should be able to play that D minor arpeggio from memory really comfortably without a single error, and with a good expression that you put in as if you were playing in your exam. So have your violin ready and we're going to get started straight away. We're playing this arpeggio completely in the third position. So rather than having to shift in the middle of this arpeggio, in the middle when you're performing this, it's much easier to get your change, your position change out of the way before you even start it. So I'm going to find my D. And I'm checking my D with the D string, so I'm 100% certain that this is a D in tune. And we're going to go very slowly. 1, 2, 3. I want you to check that D again with the D string. Have you stayed the same? Shall we try it again? 1, 2, 3, and so let's think about the letter names of those notes that you've just played for a moment. So we started on a D, next up was the F, then an A, then D, F, A, and our top note was a D again. And on our next playing I want you to say those letter names out loud, because we're learning this arpeggio by their letter names and not by their fingers, and that is a slight difference. In that way I only have to remember 3 letters, D, F and A, and I can work it out as I go along, you see, so that is a very reliable method for most people. So let's find our D. So our first note is called D, here we go. The next note is F. Then comes A, and you might notice that this A you can actually check with the A string. Okay, the next note is D. Now this D you can check with the open D string. Let's play this note again. D. F is my next note. A is next, and this A I can check with the A string. Terrific, and my top note is a D. That's it. You could, if you dare to do this, have your first finger on the A string. You could check this first finger with the D string, and then match the top note with the first finger. Ooh, very good. Now let's play the arpeggio from the top down without our letter names. Shall we do that again? Here we go. D, F, A, D, F, A, and D is our top note. Same way down. That's growing on you now, isn't it? Lovely, lovely job. Now, if you find that one or two notes are not quite in tune, perhaps you can identify for yourself, first of all, which notes they are, and then, as a second step, whether you need to make this note a little bit higher to fit in the line next time, or a little bit flatter. So was your note originally sharp or flat? Let's see if we know how to fix it. And that's what we're doing on our next playing. Now on our next playing, we're playing the arpeggio twice over before we hit the final note. So you've got lots of time to experiment with your notes. And I bet you know it off by heart now, and you can play it with a really nice sound too. So it's time now to start slurring this arpeggio. So we're going a tiny bit faster, and I'll count us in for 3. Give it your best shot. 1, 2, 3. That's not bad at all for a first time, is it? Now when we play 3 notes to a bow, you're going to have a string crossing during each of the slurs, and I want you to think ahead to where the string crossings are going to come up so that you can anticipate them with your bow, and if you're going to go up, let your right elbow drop a little bit so that your bow starts to angle towards a new string. And when you play the arpeggio down, your string crossings are going to go down as well, aren't they? So I want you to lever your bow arm up a little bit so that your bow is going to nudge towards the new string. Therefore, making the distance from one string to another a little bit closer if your bow is already on its way to go towards the new string, you see. 1, 2, 3. Crazy, isn't it? You've got to really anticipate what's happening. I'll talk you through, for those of you who don't quite get what I'm saying, because this is quite intricate stuff and advanced violin playing. When you play grade 3, for goodness sake, you are an intermediate player, so you can start to think about these things. So I'll show you what I mean by that. When I'm going 2, 4, and then to the A, I want my bow already to be leaning towards the A. See the angle, and I'm going to come closer with my bow to the A. How do I do that? By dropping my right elbow. You see, just a little nudge there. So when I play this, did you just see my elbow go down? And I'm going further down because I'm going to the A string. Look, it's going this way. And even lower. But now, look at my elbow. Can you see it move just there? and I'm falling, as it were, into the new string with my bow. Up, up, up. So my elbow does this as I go from the bottom of the arpeggio. First my elbow goes down in a lower position, and then as I come from the top of the arpeggio down, my elbow is going to go up. And this way I'm aiming to make my string crossings completely inaudible. So if you didn't play the violin, you would not notice that you play on one string or on another. That is the goal that we're aiming for here. So every note is as smooth as you can possibly get them. So let's practice that again. 1, 2, 3. Agree with me, that sounds much nicer than this. You hear the difference? So this is the first playing just now was much smoother and rounder, as opposed to this last playing where I had jerky string crossings, you see. So if you can apply that to your playing, that makes it a whole level higher in quality, doesn't it? Now in your grade exam, you want to play with as full a sound as possible. So on this next playing, we're going to check that you're using the whole bow, and we're going to add the crescendo to the top note. Now this will be your final playing in this video, so make it your best one. 1, 2, 3. That is absolutely awesome playing, terrific. You've made such tremendous progress in just a short space of time. Now it may be that tomorrow when you play this again, half of it you will have forgotten, and that is okay, because we're getting a little bit better every time we practice this. So it's all right if you achieve just one goal today and then another goal tomorrow, you see. So this is complicated stuff because you've got 3 or 4 different things to be thinking at all at the same time. So if you get 1 or 2 things right, all credit to you, that's super. Our next lesson will be the chromatic scale beginning on D, and I very much look forward to seeing you there. Goodbye.